In the last video, I uploaded a video that Samsung's QDOLED may have a problem with black expression in a bright environment, along with the cause of the phenomenon. And some display-related YouTubes are talking about the fact that such a phenomenon is found in monitors using actual QD-OLEDs and in Sony's 65-inch TVs. Because a panel of almost the same structure is used, it is thought that the same phenomenon is found, regardless of whether it is for monitor or TV. In today's video, we'll look at why the expression of black is important and how the contrast ratio is important for real TV viewing. There are more important points than just image quality issues, and that's why QD-OLED TVs desperately need to secure high contrast ratio. And I sincerely hope that QD-OLED TV will be released to the market with OLED-like contrast ratio. Now let's start the tech tree. Contrast ratio is literally the ratio of the brightness of a brightly displayed screen to a blacked out screen. To measure the contrast ratio, place a checkerboard pattern on the TV screen you want to measure, and then find the ratio of the brightness of the bright and black area. The fact that OLED has a contrast ratio close to infinity means that the actual value of black converges to zero, so the denominator approaches zero, resulting in a fairly high contrast ratio. In the case of LCD, it is difficult to express deep black due to some light leaking from the backlight when it is off. Therefore, even when measured in complete darkness, the contrast ratio is only around 2:1. Let's take an example to help you understand the importance of contrast ratio. Perhaps you have used a beam projector at school or at work to attend a class or have a meeting. Or there may be people who have a TV with a beam projector type. The screen's constituent materials vary according to the price, but the common point is that it is made in white, like white wallpaper when it is off. Now turn on the projector and bring up a blank screen. Will it look like this? Now let's open a PowerPoint file with text on a white background this time. Although it is a scene we often encounter in our daily life, have we ever thought of the following? How to implement black in the screen? If we remember the scene a while ago, the screen was obviously whiter than the wall. But when you open a PowerPoint file, why does a part where the screen displays text appear black? This optical illusion is due to the contrast ratio. Compared to the text displayed, the surroundings are relatively bright, so our eyes perceive the background of the screen itself as black. It's a kind of a contrast effect. I don't know if it's an appropriate metaphor, but would it be a phenomenon where a popular neighborhood guy also looks like a squid when he stands next to Jang Dong-gun, a famous Korean actor? Now let's use a low brightness beam projector this time. Compared to the high brightness beam projector, the screen is obviously dark and the black starts to look dark gray instead of black. The reason is that the brightness of the brightly expressed area has been lowered due to the performance limit of the beam projector, but the brightness of the black area is fixed as it is, so the contrast ratio is lowered. But it still looks blacker than the wall. One way to get a clear view of this low brightness project is to close the curtain and turn the lights down as much as possible. In such an environment, even if the brightness of the brightly expressed part is low, the contrast ratio is greatly increased because the part that should be displayed in black is lowered due to the change of the surrounding environment. Also, the part displayed in white feels brighter than in a bright environment. In other words, When the black approaches perfect black, we feel that the screen itself is bright, even if the luminescence of white is low. This is a reason why OLED TVs feels bright, even when the luminescence of OLED TV is set lower than that of. Therefore, even in the same OLED series TV, if black is not true black in a bright environment, the effect will inevitably be halved even if the panel luminescence is increased. I will end today's video in the hope that QDOLED will be released with these problems properly resolved. Goodbye.